Monday, August 8th, and this is episode number 659. Welcome to the show. Let There Be Talk is brought to you by my podcast network, cactusradionetwork.com. You can find all of my podcasts absolutely free in one spot, cactusradionetwork.com. And of course, you can get it anywhere else you stream or listen to podcasts. But do me a favor, if you are listening on iTunes or YouTube, please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. This really, really helps. I haven't asked in a while, but everybody out there tuning in today, hit that subscribe and leave a little review. And there you go. That's all I'm asking. We got a great guest today. That's like 5 or 6 greats because that's the level this man is. First heard of my guest, Mr. Marcus King, about 5-6 years ago. Somebody sent me over this record called the Marcus King Band. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a spin. And immediately fell in love with this guy's playing, his singing, and his songwriting. He is the triple threat. And actually, he's got 4 things going. He's a fantastic human. You put all that together and people are going to be rooting for you and shit is going to happen. You can burn on the guitar all you want. You don't have tunes, you're not going to get very far. You're going to just be in that one kind of, zone of, people that just love the guitar burning. Audience is full of dudes. You know those. Yeah, man. Oh, fucking. Oh, yeah. But if you play that instrument like your life depends on it, heart and soul, and you sit down and you learn the craft of songwriting, lyrics, and your own flavor, and then you can fucking sing, sky's the limit. Sky is the limit. This guy has so many great songs. I was talking to him on the podcast about, like, if I put together a set list, it would be mind-boggling to me. It would just be one after another incredible tunes. We sit down and talk about his brand new record today. So much is happening with this guy. He's working with Rick Rubin. He's worked with Dan Auerbach, 2 records now. He's done a few records with the legend out there, Dave Cobb. All of the Kings want to work with him. That's how fucking great he is. They come to him. Can you imagine? You're sitting on your couch, you get a call from Rick Rubin. Mind blown. Met him years ago. We became friends. We had a dream of one day doing a little comedy and rock and roll on a tour, and that is about to happen. The Youngblood Tour starts in September, I think September 8th, 38 dates or something like that around America. We're going to travel around, tell some jokes, play some rock and roll. Neil Francis will be on the tour, Ashland Kraft. It's going to be an old school circus. And I cannot even tell you, at 56 years old, how ready I am for this. It's going to be wild. Try to keep up with the young bloods. Record comes out August 26th. Do yourself a favor. Listen to the singles out right now. He's got some amazing singles out and videos for him. Live videos that'll knock you out. Lie, Lie, Lie is probably one of the best tunes I heard him do. Rescue Me, Blood on the Tracks, and Hard Working Man. Comes out on American Recordings. Did some co-writing with a legend, Mr. Desmond Child. And we get into that. We get into his love of comedy, his guitar of choice coming up for the tour, and pretty much what's been going on with him. Every time I see this guy, I smile. He's just an old soul. I think he's like 25, 26 now. And I never seen somebody so comfortable in their skin at that age. Usually when people are at that age, I know when I was like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen in life? But no, the man chills. He is the definition of chill. God, I loved having him on again. This is his 3rd time on, just a heads up. Had him on about 5 years ago when I first met him. Then I interviewed him a few days before the COVID lockdown in Los Angeles in a hotel. And then a couple days ago, we sat down again. I love you, Marcus. Solid human, man. Solid human. Speaking of solid humans, I want to give some shout outs to my Patreoners. Tommy Cork, one of the greatest people I've met through doing comedy, and I don't call him a fan, I call him a friend. Everybody that listens to this podcast and comes sees my comedy would definitely just be my friend, and it's just a bonus that they like what I do, but obviously we have a lot in common, and all of these people are just my friends, Lincoln Brown, Ken Bro, and Tyler Jones. Ryan Syfax, saw him at the Rainbow last night. I did comedy at the Rainbow Bar and Grill. I'll tell you something that feels good. And it's not like some fucking fame thing or anything, but I was at the Rainbow Bar and Grill doing comedy with the BMX legend Rick Thorne put on a show up there in the Vampire's Lair. Saw my man DJ Will up there spinning. And I was coming out from doing the show. Every time I walk into the Rainbow, I'm just fucking overwhelmed with the massive, amazing history of that building and that family. It's just unbelievable. So I'm coming out, and this guy comes up. He's like, "Oh, mate, I'm from Australia." That's my sad. I got the sad accents. Hey, you want some sad accents? Go to Dean Del Rey. Hey, mate. Hey, I come from Australia. Mix in some Canadian. Anyway, I said, "Hey, what's going on?" He goes, "Big fan." He didn't even know I was doing comedy upstairs. He's just in Los Angeles for vacation, and we run into each other. He spots me, and it just blows me away. Somebody down in Sydney flies to Los Angeles for a vacation. We by chance see each other, and we have this bond over our love of music and comedy and everything. It was just crazy, man, to think. The old days, man, you didn't have no fucking podcast or anything. I got to call someone in Australia. It'd be like, $30 a minute. It just feels good. Yeah. You see people that are happy from the podcast. That's just fucking great. Anyway, big tour coming up. Like I said, also some more unbelievable Bill Burr dates coming up also. So they're all on DeanDelRey.com. I'm going to be doing Buffalo and Pennsylvania with Bill, and some other dates in December with Bill also. Some good stuff. Let me see if I can get it for you right now. Why I got you on the air here. Hey, first time caller, long time fan. Yeah, I was going to tell you, I was wondering when you're going to be coming to Bumfucked Egypt, because you never come to Bumfucked Egypt. Okay, here's the other dates. December 8th is going to be Idaho. Ford, Idaho Center Arena. Awesome. Salt Lake City, Utah, Maverick Center. Is that's Dallas Mavericks. I don't know. What's the Utah basketball team? It's the Jazz. So I don't know what this is. So, Colorado Springs, December 10th. So winding down the year with a lot of shows. 45 chances to see me. When you coming to Bumfucked Egypt? All right. I am feeling a little better. I've been doing some exercising. Just trying to eat clean, keep that brain, on track. I will tell you this podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you're having any kind of, you got some anxiety, you got some shit going on in your brain, seek out some help, man. BetterHelp online therapy is what will help you out. You don't need to drive somewhere. You don't got to get in traffic. You just get online and get your own licensed professional therapist in less than 48 hours. Super easy to use. I'm telling you, man, people out there are cooking. You got monkeypox, you got COVID, you got fucking maybe wars all the time. You have inflation. People are going crazy. You need someone to talk to. It's not a crisis line. It's not that. It's not a self-help. It's professional therapy done securely online, available for people worldwide. Anywhere in the world, you can use this. All you got to do is log on to your account anytime, message your therapist, and bam, you're up and running. Super, super easy. BetterHelp is a great way to invest in yourself, you know? This stuff works. People are using it. Get betterhelp.com/Delray. That's BetterHelpDotcom/Delray and get 10% off right now. BetterHelp.com/Delray. 10% off for your first month of online therapy. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring the podcast, and I know it'll help you guys out there. Therapy's cool. People are like, remember the old days? Man, I'm a man. I don't need no therapy. I'll just shake it off. Nah, that doesn't work. Patreon.com/Dean Del Rey if you want to support the podcast. This very much helps big time, and also it gives you over 130 bonus Let There Be Talks. I just dropped one yesterday where I dive into Anthrax 40-year anniversary tour. The movie Nope, I talk a little bit about that. I talk about Burr about to do Fenway in his hometown of Boston. A lot of stuff on there. So check out patreon.com/Dean Del Rey one more time. And the merch and show dates are all on deandelrey.com. All right, let's get into it. Thank you, guys. I love you. Dig some Marcus King. Right now, the candles are lit. Where are you, dude? In a fucking guitar closet?
I'm in my studio, man.
Oh, shit. Out at your crib?
Yeah, dude. When we play Nashville, you got to come out here.
Oh, dude, you know what we got to do? We got to just record a tune one night.
Yeah, we can definitely do it. Yeah.
Man, I miss you, dude.
Miss you, man. How you been?
Oh, I'm like you. I'm just trying to make sense of the world,
Yeah, it's been kind of weird.
Yeah, it's been weird, but it's been great also. It's weird. It's this weird juxtapose of like, holy shit, the world's falling apart, but good things are happening for me. It's weird.
It's good. I mean, hell, I think all of us were able to make a positive out of a non.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. It's weird. I was sitting here today getting ready to interview you. This is the third time I've had you on. And I thought about all the years that I've known you. And I went back through the records, man. And, if I put together a set list, you have, to me, some of the best songs I've heard in the last 20 years. It's unbelievable. I start with the debut. The self-titled, not the debut. The debut was Soul Insight, but self-titled, Rita's Gone, Jealous Man, The Man You Didn't Know, Ain't Nothing Wrong With That. This fucking record's a crusher. And then you go with the Carolina Confessions, and you got Where I'm Headed, Homesick, Side Door. It's insane. And then El Dorado, fucking Wildflowers and Wine. One day she's gone, next she's, it's just tune after tune after tune for me as I was going through it. And now the new record coming out is fucking Lie, Lie, Lie is like a smasher, man.
Thank you. Thanks, man. I mean, that means a lot. Thank you.
Oh, I mean, it's wild to think about how much material you have out in the shorter time that you've been out there. This is what, the 5th album?
Yeah, technically. The first 3 were with the band, and these El Dorado and this one were solo records, as it were, just because it was different cats playing on it,
Right. Like, what is the decision of if it's going to be a band record and a solo record?
So it's more kind of to do with like the production. So Dan has a certain way he likes to work, and with El Dorado, like we cut the record in about 3 days time, and we were kind of going for that early Memphis sound in a lot of ways. So the best way to do that was to hire the Memphis boys. Everybody on that session for El Dorado was like 80 years old, man.
Yeah, I remember.
Billy Sanford, his second session in Nashville was Pretty Woman, and he wrote that riff for Pretty Woman. So we had him and Gene Chrisman and Bobby Wood. Bobby Wood, for sure, I know, played on Suspicious Minds, but so did Gene Bubba Chrisman. So we had like all these guys that worked with Elvis Presley, and in Dan's eyes, he's like, these are the hitters. We had charts, and we played the tunes and cut the record in 3 days. And when I told him my goal for this new record, Youngblood, he knew the cats that we needed right away. So I just kind of trust the production in that way.
What made me fall in love with you is what I talked to you about, that I love over the, my years of loving music, is a thing that is very rare. It comes around once in a while, which would be soul rock. And when I first got into you, say the self-titled record, it was very heavy soul rock. There's a big R&B flavor, but I know that you loved rock because you guys would cover like War Pigs and stuff, and then here we are, and you're finally going for a full-blown kind of rock record,
Yeah, I think it's been over time, it's been kind of a chipping away at the different elements of who I am musically, and there's starting to become less of an amalgamation, and I'm starting to focus a little bit more minutely into these certain aspects. Like El Dorado, we focused more on the balladeer kind of soul ballads and shit, and this record went kind of completely back to the roots. And I mean, it was a super dark time that I was living through, and this music is so ingrained in me that I don't think I would have been like capable really of cutting any other kind of record, because this goes so deep for me.
Now, I do know your ex-lady had no idea. I met her through you and had no idea there was any kind of turmoil. The last time you and I sat down was a couple of days before COVID. We were in a hotel room. She was there. You were out writing tunes secretly for what would now become, Youngblood. And no idea that there was any kind of turmoil. Was it like ongoing, or was it just something that happened right away?
I mean, sometimes people have a hard time knowing when to call it quits. And
Right.
if there's good elements and you're codependent, I think people have a tendency to hold on to something that ain't any good for them. And I think we're both kind of doing that. She seems to be doing fine now, and I'm really happy. I've met a woman that I'm really in love with, and we're gonna be married next year. So I'm just over the moon happy. And when I saw you, the record I was writing was really like the record that I'm still working on.
Wow.
So I've already got 11 tunes in the can for that, and I'm going to Italy at the end of this month to finish it. So that was like a breakup record that I was writing while I was in a relationship. And then Youngblood was like kind of the end result. And what a low place you get in. Even if it was supposed to happen, you still get in a low place after a breakup, especially if you're codependent in nature like I am. And then you find these other substances that give you temporary love the same way you were receiving it before. So, yeah, I don't know. I appreciate you asking about it, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I understand the gears, the animal of it. The door opened up. It was a dark hotel room. Looked like some partying was going on, and that's exactly where I'd be when I was your age in Los Angeles, writing tunes, working with Rick Rubin. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And it's not really a cliche. There's always a great little road into the dark side to find the stuff, as long as you get out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it happened sooner than later. The heavy stuff anyway. I mean, I needed to kind of quit that.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't mind. I look back on my drug era and I'm like, those fucking, I made it out. So it's great because you find things in those eras,
Yeah. I mean, they're creatively really good to me, those dark periods, but I don't know, maybe I'm supposed to write some happy music at some point. I got to think I can do that.
Yeah. One of the greatest lines on the new record is I gave her champagne. Now she wants a limousine. It's so fucking great because it's just like, I want more. I want more. It's what a line, man.
I mean, hell, like that song kind of went for the throat, but I wrote most of that song while I was still in a relationship. During the pandemic, it was originally called Heavy Metal Heart Attack. And, after the breakup, changed a few lyrics around, and that's lie, lie, lie now. But yeah, that one goes for the jugular a little bit more than I've ever before. But it keeps me from talking shit about anybody now. Once I get the pen to the paper, I'm able to put it behind me.
Let me ask you about co-writing because I'm not quite sure on the Two Marcus King band records. Were you writing all the stuff, or has there always been some co-writers?
I never did any co-writing until El Dorado. Any true co-writing. Soul Insight, there was no co-writing at all. And the self-titled, I co-wrote Guitar in My Hands with a buddy of mine, Rocky Lindsley. And he just passed away not too long ago. So that's a shame. But Carolina Confessions, Dave Cobb, his production style is really adding to the form of the song, but to my knowledge, he didn't contribute anything lyrically. And then El Dorado is when I really did my first true co-write in Nashville with Dan.
Do you enjoy the co-writing, or is it kind of record company influenced where they're like, hey, maybe get out there with some people? Because my thoughts were the Desmond Child co-write. Hadn't heard his name since the 80s, of course, and he's a hit master back then of Bon Jovi and all those guys, Aerosmith. So it was an interesting choice. I was like, wow. First of all, I was like, oh, he's still around,
Right. I mean, that's a great question, Dean. I mean, for me, co-writing, there's certain people that if they recommend someone, I know that I'm not going to enjoy it, so I don't do it. Like, if the label's pitching people to write with, I'm like, nah, probably not. But that's why I'm really thankful that I kind of built my career off of, like, just let me do me, and I'll try to give you something good. And I've kind of built my career off of that. So I just find people that I enjoy writing with, and this is a great town for that. As far as Desmond, like, I didn't even know we were writing together until he showed up, and that was an Auerbach thing. Dan, that's how Dan likes to work. Dan, he doesn't send me the schedule or anything. It's just like, we're writing at 11 a.m. Tuesday, and I show up, and then Desmond showed up at like 11:30. I wasn't aware of Desmond's track record. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah. What are you, 24? How are you going to know,
Yeah. Well, I was 25 at the time. I mean, same difference, but I'm like, good to meet you, sir. And we wrote, and he's a character, man. Like, he snatched my pen out of my hand and I was clicking it. I get a little fidgety, and I pitched a line, and then he's like, no, it's corny. And Dan nearly fell out of his seat because he called me corny. He called me fucking corny. But I love him to pieces. He's really, it was a challenge because he's got the most hits in the room. And when you're in a room with Dan Auerbach and someone's got more hits than him, you kind of got to tip your hat to the natural hierarchy there. And that's kind of what co-writing is to me. I wouldn't say that I sacrifice any of my artistic, whatever you want to call it, but it's different. You kind of open up different parts of your brain, but in doing so, I feel like you close other parts. Because I write songs that don't even rhyme, and like I try to do that in like a standard Nashville co-write. They'd be like, "You need to smoke less pot.
I mean, I wrote probably 90% of my songs, 95, I would say. So I always wondered about the co-writing, what it's like. It's such a strange animal to me. You're in a room, go. Yeah, guys over there. Well, I was thinking about a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and then you're doing a little bit, and then you see what comes out of it. It's a wild ride.
It is, man. You really got to let your guard down. And the only way I know to do that is like every write, especially on this last record, it's always like a first date when you're meeting people for the first time. You got to sit and get to know them for me, because this was a really personal record for me. So anybody contributing on it with me, I was like, we need to get to know each other a little bit. So we'd almost have 30-minute preamble conversation, and then we'd start writing from wherever I was that day, whether I was up here or down here.
And how do you do it? Is it you come in and say, well, is he helping with the lyrics or melody or chords, or are you strumming and he goes, oh, how about trying this bridge? How does that work with like a Desmond Child type of person? Because I always wondered that.
It kind of depends on the writer. It's all kind of situationally based. Like Dan and I have a certain way that we write together, which is with guitars around the kitchen table, just hanging pen to paper, and we bring a third party in always, and not always, but in this case we did, and we'll start strumming along, and either I'll have an idea that's already kind of started, or Dan will have like a melodic idea, because there's always something banging around in there, maybe even something will start derivative of something else, and then once the lyrics kind of fall into place, then it kind of becomes its own thing. There's really no set way to do it for me. It just kind of happens.
Yeah. That's how it does happen. I was just talking to somebody last week about it, where I said, I don't know, man, the jokes just come out of nowhere. And he said, don't they all? And it was so true, because
Right.
they don't come from anywhere but out of nowhere, and same with song lyrics. I talked to you about it before, but whenever I'm strumming a guitar, the chorus always seems to come out first, and then I'm fucked. I'm like, I got to live with this chorus. It came from nowhere, and I got to figure out what the hell it means.
Especially when it's just the melody. But song lyrics are interesting. Like my fiance and I had a shared note that was like a grocery list or something, and I think at some point I deleted all the groceries because I was going to get more. And then I forgot it was a shared note, and I'm just writing lyric ideas in it. She's like, hey, I'm in that note still. She's like, what does any of this shit mean? I'm like, it's the process. It doesn't make any sense right now. It'll get there.
Yeah, that's great. Right. Bumblebees hollering, like, what is bumblebees hollering?
Yeah,
It's
like,
just fucking in the grocery notes.
yeah. So today, actually, she was like, what's that? What the fuck does that mean?
A lot of Les Paul on the videos. Was that on the record also?
Yeah, it was. Man, I think I use that on damn near every track, with the exception of, a couple like 12-string overdubs, and my 345 was there, if anything, just for moral support. It's my security blanket guitar. So I think burst of Dan's the whole time.
Oh, wow. And what was that? Is a custom shop or reissue or original?
It's a 59 Les Paul from Carter. And I was actually thinking about buying it at one point, and Dan bought it the next day.
Oh,
and,
shit.
and I put a down payment on my house.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. It was the one you played. Was that the one you were playing with Billy Strings or something in the video?
Maybe so. I remember going over and looking at it because it was a pretty good deal for one. I was like, think about it. Talk to my business manager, and then the next day, Dan sent me a photo of it, and I was like, shit.
Damn. And is it all straight? It's all original?
There's a couple funky things about it, which is why I think a collector like Dan likes it, because me and Dan both like kind of off the wall guitars, a little funky. I mean, it's pretty true to all original. It's just not as clean as like a true like vintage collector would want,
Yeah.
and that's why I think it was a good deal. But I used that, and I actually used an old Gibson amp for the whole record. That it's another ugly beast of a machinery. It's like an old GA20 somebody took out of the original chassis and put it in just like a plywood box kind of thing, and it's ugly as hell. And there's a rectifier tube missing, which makes it sound even better. I think it probably pushes like 20 watts at the most, but you record it, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, like a Tweed Deluxe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you going to be playing Les Paul on the tour or on the road for this record, or what's going on?
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Les Paul live.
Really? What do you got?
I got my 69 Black Beauty, and I've got a kind of a burst clone with a Bigsby on it that I love. And I always bring my Strat and my 345 and my Tellys. Yeah, man, I got a pretty good collection that you'll be seeing soon.
Yeah. This is going to be interesting. You and I have talked about doing like a comedy tour for about 4 years.
Yeah.
And I remember we were in that hotel room right before the lockdown, and we're like, yeah, we got to do a comedy music tour. And then boom, the lockdown. But here we are actually going to do it. It's going to be Neil Francis, myself, and you, and Ashland Kraft on some of it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be an interesting animal. How do you see it? It's like, as I see it as a comedian, we look at the old days. I was just talking to a legend of comedy, Tom Dreesen. He opened for Frank Sinatra for years. Back in the day, the Blues Brothers, all these people opened for bands in the 70s. It was just kind of easier to do, and kind of a cool variety show vibe. But how do you see it, man?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a lot more commonplace, like Robert Klein and Steely Dan, that kind of stuff. And I think it's because you'd have these kind of shows like the Midnight Special, where it was kind of commonplace to see a comedian and then in a band, so people would take that on the road. I was even talking earlier about James Brown used to have a hype man kind of MC that was more or less like a comedian that would
Bobby Bird.
It wasn't Bobby Bird. It was another cat. He was kind of more of a one-liner type of dude.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I thought about first, like when we met, I was like, Dean's a great comedian and he's a rock and roll singer, so he knows how to maneuver a rock and roll crowd. But you're the first guy that came to mind. Like having a more soft-spoken comedian it could have been a train wreck, but I think you know how to really, wrangle them. And also not sneaking it up on anybody. It's pretty clear on the poster and the ticket that there's comedy involved. So, I mean, we're going to see how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've done it before, and it's yeah,
you did like Queens of the Stone Age, right?
I did it with Alice in Chains for 2 weeks.
Okay, that's right.
And then I just recently did it with Metallica, which was like fucking really hard.
I bet.
Because it was their 40-year anniversary. So I went out there ready with these jokes. And then I realized, wait a minute, we got Ecuador in the house. We got Brazil. We have, people from all around the world that they don't know comedy or local references or any. I'm riffing on the burritos that we'd fight over in San Francisco, and they're like, what is this guy talking about? But
you were doing niche San Francisco humor.
Well, it was their 40 year and we were in San Fran. There was a special party for that. And I was just talking about like how people, you know, when it comes to Metallica, they argue over Metallica like they do a burrito. Like, oh, after Cliff Burton died, they're fucking done. And then the other guys would be like, after they cut their hair, they're fucking done. And you know, after there's some kind of monster, you know, psychiatrist era, they're done. And it's like, they've never been done. They've been doing arenas their entire lives, you fucking idiots, you know? So that was kind of the gist of the bit. And, you know, I think as a comedian, you have to find it and have fun with it. I think if the rooms are seated like the Ryman, it'll be fantastic because they're seated. And the ones where they're standing up, that's really where you got to figure it out because they're just walking around with their beers like, what's that roadie talking, you know? Like,
I'm hoping we can maybe kind of, you know, limit the number of shows we have to do with standing.
Yeah.
There's some places you can't avoid it, but
of course.
Ryman's going to be great. I mean, I just saw a comedy. It was an outstanding lineup, actually. Kid Rock's comedy thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. With my boy, Chris Porter and Darnell Rollins. And
yeah, Shane Gillis was there and Big J. Ogerson. Theo Vaughn dropped in and did a guest appearance. Chase Willie was there.
Yeah. I mean, you're a big comedy fan, you know, so.
I love it.
But the way I see it, I think at the end of the night, the encore, we got to do one each night.
Yeah. No, we've been talking about this. I mean, we gotta think of something.
Well, I think we go from Earth, Wind, and Fire one night to AC/DC to Prince to fucking Skinner, whatever, you know?
I mean, I'm down. We got a lot of miles between here and there to start drumming up some ideas.
Yeah.
You're right. You're riding on my bus, so that'll be even more fun.
I can't even wait, dude. I mean, I really can't wait, dude. It was a really, really tough time of not working. At least you could make records, but comedians couldn't really do anything. And I truly thought that it was probably over for me, you know, because I thought, well, are we ever going to get back to live comedy in a room with people? It just didn't seem like it for a long time. And it got really dark. And then to get the call from you guys, I was just kind of like, wow. And then, you know, to do the Bill Burr Arena tour, those two things are fucking life-changing. They're like the greatest things ever to happen in my life. You know, it's like, wow, I'm doing a rock tour on a bus. I haven't been on a rock tour since 2006 when I played music.
Right.
You know, so I'm going back out on the bus with some young dudes that they don't need sleep. Somebody said to me, they go, hey, you know, Marcus and his band, they're young dudes. I go, yeah. And he goes, you remember when you were young on a bus? You didn't sleep. And I was like, oh, fuck. But yeah, I'm fired up for it, man.
Man, I sleep with the best of them. So
yeah.
We kind of, that first week is going to be pretty restless. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it just kind of eases in, you know.
Papers. But it's going to be such a fun tour, man. The band, like we were texting about it the other day. The band's really firing on all cylinders, man. It's going to be fun.
That's so great. Now you're going out 7-piece, right?
Yeah.
7-piece. And you got a rhythm guy now, Drew?
Yeah. Drew Smithereens.
That's so cool, man. Somebody hit me up. They knew him. I know. Jakir King. He's a producer in Nashville.
Yep.
Big dude. Great. He did my record. He's one of my favorite humans ever. He worked with Tom Waits and, you know, he did all those big Kings of Leon records. But he hit me and he's like, yeah, I guess his wife or whatever is her best friend. That's Drew's man, or I don't know what it is, but he's like, wow, this is like a small world, you know?
Yeah, it is a small world. I've heard Drew talk about Jakir a lot. They're good friends, but Drew's a great player. And it's just, you know, this tour is really a full circle one too, because me and Drew have been talking about playing together for like 5 years, like you and I. I mean, he's been a good buddy of mine for a long time. And he was in a group called Bishop Gunn, and they had a song called Shine. And that's, you know, this past weekend was Theo Vaughn. That's his opening track. So if you want to hear Drew, you know, check that podcast out. But he's such a great player, and he's so gracious and humble and just That's what we call him, Drucifer on the bus, because he's so nice. Uh, so it's like such a misnomer, but yeah, the rest of the band, we got the two horns, and there's a lot of like sneaky percussion on this record, the new one. So my sax player is an amazing conga player, and my trumpet player is like a world class tambourine player. He does like Middle Eastern rhythms on the tambourine. It's outstanding. And so they're playing auxiliary percussion, and we got the real Hammond organ and big fat drums. It's just sounds huge.
Are you going out with the orange amps?
Yeah, we got these custom cabs they built for me, man. Uh, there's like 8 10-inch speakers in them, and I got two of those, and then I got two 15s and a Fender dual Showman head. So it's gonna be massive. The whole stage setup is reminiscent of like the original Allman Brothers lineup.
Oh
Like
God.
big amps at the back of the risers, so everything's really big, and we want the amps to move a lot of the room. And like the Beacon Theater, a lot of these places are just perfect for this. The Fox in Atlanta, or we're at the Tabernacle, but that's still.
I did the Fox in Atlanta with Burr recently, and all you think about is Skinnerd. Just play it pretty for Atlanta, and
Yeah,
just, what they told me was the building was going to get torn down. And Skinner said, look, we'll come in there and play like 3 nights and give you all the money, keep this building together. And they did. And then they put out one of the greatest fucking live records ever.
that's a damn good live record, man.
Come on, dude. And the way it opens, we're going to welcome back some very old friends of ours, Leonard Skinner. And then they just kick into working for MCA. Come on, dude.
It's outrageous. I mean, you're one of the only cats that claims to be a Skinner fan.
Oh.
I feel like a lot of people feel like it almost it's like wearing a MAGA hat to be a Skinner fan.
Well, that's ridiculous because
One of the greatest rock and roll groups of all time to me.
To watch that Skinner doc and they just get up at like 8 and go down to that fucking boiling hot shack and play for 10 hours a day, because that's what they do. Allman Brothers, same thing. We play music. That's what we do.
Yeah. It's really one of those kind of documentaries where you want to get up and work. It's like I've been working on something with Paul Riddle from the Marshall Tucker Band.
Oh wow.
He's another one. They always called it getting suited up and really going to work. Tommy Caldwell, the original bass player from that band, he passed away in 1980 in a car accident. But that was always his thing was, man, whatever day of the week it is, it's a Tuesday night in Omaha. It's cold as hell. You want to go home. But that's somebody's Saturday night out there. And they saved their money up or whatever and spent money to come see you. So what a sack of shit you must be to go out there and give them a subpar show. You go out there and give them their money's worth.
It's true, man, because they paid for a babysitter, gas.
That's their Saturday night. Because you're in Omaha on a Tuesday. They moved their week around to see you. So it's selling out a, middle of nowhere town in the middle of the week. That always means so much more to me than selling out LA on a Saturday. Like, wow. I'm gonna work tomorrow.
Every night that I go on stage is like Christmas and a Saturday night. It's a dream come true every night. I never take it for granted. I'm like, I'm fucking going on stage again. I'm not swinging a hammer at 7:30 in the morning,
It's a blessing, man. It really is. And that being said, there's always moments that you don't enjoy. Like long flights, and it's like that Dewey Cox thing. It's like, hell, I'm gonna miss some births, period. You think I'm gonna be home every time you have a baby? They kind of nailed it with that.
Let me ask you something a little bit about how the Rick Rubin thing came up.
Yeah.
Does he approach you, and have you talked about him ever producing a record? Rick Rubin being my all-time favorite in the history of the records that he put out, and the diversity of it is just unreal. And his knowledge of music and his love of music is definitely a guy I would want to work with. And, it's just insane. So does he find you and reach out to you one day? What happens here?
Yeah, man. I just keep counting my lucky stars because everyone I've ever worked with, that's kind of how it's happened. I kind of put my nose down to the grindstone and just keep working. And yeah, just one day I get a call out of the blue, and there he is, Rick Rubin. So
wow. And what's he say to you? Like, hey man, you into Robin Trower? Because I know Rubin's gonna come at you like, what if we did a 3-piece Cream style record? Or what how does it happen?
Well, he's just like you said, like you mentioned, he's such a fan of music, and he has so much reverence for it. We started off talking because he saw me do my tune "Goodbye Carolina" at the Grand Ole Opry. So he saw that, and he was really taken with the video. So he called me, and at that time, I was kind of shopping a new publishing company, and I was kind of in between labels as well. So the timing was really serendipitous. He kind of scooped in, and we started working together right away, or we started hanging together.
What were those hangs like?
Man, they're so peaceful. Yeah. Rick's just like such a laid back dude, and we hang and listen to music and no shoes. It's a very zen place. Just really rad dude. So we just talked music for hours, and he liked all the demos, and then I went out there and just worked and wrote. Just kind of locked myself up at Shangri-La and wrote for a couple of weeks, and it ended up being that I saved those tunes, but so you won't hear any of those songs unfortunately on the new record, but the one I'm currently working on, that's where you'll hear those songs.
Is he going to produce that one?
Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to say or not say, but
right,
like I said, there's a record in the works.
Yeah, I remember when you first told me that you were out there working with Rubin and we were in the hotel room. I was like, Marcus is living my dream right now. It's fucking great. That is awesome. To me, I remember I went to Rubin's house and played like 5 songs for him, like towards the end of my music run. I was there. Somebody hooked up a meeting. I went to his house. It was like 10 at night, and it was right by the Comedy Store. And we were just looking down La Cienega, and he was in this room. I could see these Dixie Chicks photos behind him, and he just closed his eyes. He's like, let me hear a few. And I was just, dude, I'm playing acoustic guitar and singing to Rick Rubin, no one around in his like chill room. And he's all, that's real nice, man. Let's hear another one. I played like 5 and put the guitar in the case and drove down the hill and never heard from him again. But I was like, well, I got to do that,
That's a hell of an experience. It's always really nerve-wracking to play for him like that. He's a really chill dude. He'll just lay down and listen to. I've never seen a person absorb a song quite the way that he does. It's like he pulls it in from every part of his body, his whole being. He's absorbing everything that you're offering. So I take his word like gold standard for me. He's a tough critic, but when he likes something, it really makes you feel like $1 million.
Oh yeah. His track record's ridiculous, Yeah,
that it is.
and his the music he loves is impeccable. And everything he's worked with, I don't care what you think. It's like, Dixie Chicks, fire. Then you go, Beastie Boy, Run DMC. Then you go, Johnny Cash. You're just all over the place, and it's all good.
Yeah, it's always good, man. I mean, he'll send me to like jam sessions. Like while I was out there, he sent me to this jam session to just hang out and play. And like Mike D was on the drums.
Whoa, really?
Just the kind of shit that you get yourself into out there. You're like, I don't know, it's mind-boggling.
There was a moment where you thought about moving to LA. Is that still in your head?
I mean, man, I still love the South and the singing trees, but I think the goal now is to have a place out there.
Yeah. Have both, right?
I mean, that's the ambitious side of me, but maybe one day.
Yeah. I'm the same way, man. I think, okay, LA and New York, 6 weeks here, 6 weeks there, back and forth, you know?
I think you and I are similar. We have similar style in like architecture too. So
God.
it's a lot cheaper to get a Frank Lloyd Wright style house, in South Carolina than it is in Los Angeles.
You know what? You're so right, man. I mean, I follow that cheap or mid-century finds.
Yeah, I always see you on there.
Yeah, on Instagram, and I'm like, damn, fucking look at that.
Yeah.
Somebody told me something interesting though, Marcus. They said, look, you move somewhere for the architecture. And he goes, and then I'll tell you this, after 6 months, the architecture wears off and you realize you live in like, somewhere like Fresno, And he said that to me, and it was kind of a nugget that I took and was like, you're right. It's, once you're in your house, you got to love what's around you also,
Yeah. I mean, that was what led me out in my neck of the woods. I was like, what's behind me is all trees. So I'm like, what's back there? Who owns that property? What is this? Because I don't want any condos sneaking up on me.
Right.
So I'm like, bird sanctuary. Boom. Let's buy it. Because there's a bald eagle back there. As long as he's hanging out, I don't have to worry about condos. So it makes me happy.
Bald eagle, bird sanctuary, total win, man. I know.
America, man, the bald eagle saves me again, baby.
Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, so the record comes out August what?
August 26th.
Oh my God. And then we start the tour September, I believe, 8th or something.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. And then we go from like to October 28th or something, man. It's going to be great.
Yeah, dude. And I've got some other gigs after that too.
Yeah, where are you going?
Well, I'm going out to I'm actually going to New York. I don't know if I can say it yet. Maybe by the time this comes out, I'm gonna go jam with Phil Lesh and the boys.
Fucking rad! Is that for the Halloween?
Yeah, so you should just ride up to, Portchester with me.
Oh, I'm doing that for sure, buddy. I ain't missing that, man. What's that venue called? The famous one they played for years?
Capitol Theater.
Yeah, oh, man. Come on, dude. I'm down with that.
My buddy Shapiro, he owns it now since 2012. And he's the best guy to own it, man. He's killer, dude.
That's so great. And then what do you got after that? Europe tour or anything? Oh, you just got back from Europe, right?
Yeah, we did. We had some Europe dates in the works for November, December, but we ended up rescheduling that tour to the spring, and it just worked out better for routing over there. And November, I'm just going to be off. I'm going to spend a few weeks just getting right internally, doing a little self check-in. Be good.
That's great. And then you're going to be married, man. Wild.
Yeah, I'm going to be a married man. It's going to be great. I love it. I came from a broken family, so I always wanted to be a husband and a dad. I just want to, my dad is my best friend. He's going to be my best man, actually. But he was such a good parent, but, there's some not so good ones out there. And I've always wanted to be a dad and a husband. So I'm excited about that.
I've been there, man. I've been there, the bad upbringing,
Yeah. I think, what was it? Dan Soder had a whole bit about like coming from a shitty upbringing, alcoholic dad. It's like, you don't think I'm up here because things went well.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I was telling someone recently, like, I've never met like a successful comedian that was like family was incredible. I haven't. You know what I mean?
Musicians, no, nobody's saying that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bumpy upbringing. I wouldn't trade for anything because everything, I got no regrets. Everything I've done has just been, I just love it. It's the drive.
It is. It creates that drive, and I'm thankful for it, man. Thankful as hell. Because it's funny, like in school, I knew kids who just like phenomenal pianists played like circles around everybody else, and he's like, "Nah, I like running track, and I'm gonna go to school for law or become a doctor, something more, sustainable." I'm like, "Oh yeah, your parents are great."
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And we do need doctors. So I'm like, good. Thank God we're not all lunatics. Oh, can you imagine the entire earth of artists? Nothing would get done. Dude, I got rehearsal.
Not a lot will get done, but I'm thankful.
I'm looking forward to the tour, man. I cannot wait. And congrats on everything because, I was talking to all them witches yesterday, Robbie, and
Love them guys.
yeah, your management, these guys, and your work ethic and everything. We're doing double nights everywhere, double Rymans, double tabernacles. These are double beacons. This is if we would have done the tour when we were first talking about it, we'd be troubadours across the U.S., which would have been fun. But this is going to be like pretty rad.
I mean, they're pretty monumental venues, and some we're returning to or some we're returning back to, and some we're doing for the first time. So our management and our agency have really just created this whole plan of just like circling the states and circling the cute. We just adopted a kitten.
Oh,
Kitten just got here.
Oh, let's see.
All right, yeah, let's see the kitten.
Yeah.
Which one is this?
This is Fritter.
This is Fritter.
Fritter. Apple fritter.
Now this is quality content.
Yeah. Cat content.
Oh my goodness. Hi.
Wow, that's great. Fritter.
Hey, Fritter.
Zip.
Oh, Zip.
Oh, you got two.
We got two kittens.
Wow.
Oh my God. They're already doing interviews.
Hey guys, they're already famous.
Yeah. Get that Instagram going for them.
Oh,
That's cool.
Oh.
yeah. Well, hopefully they'll be on the road with us.
I was thinking of bringing my dog, my French bulldog.
Your Frenchie is so cool.
I know, right? Gertrude.
It's a great name too.
I
That was
know.
my grandma's name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I love that name, Gertie.
Trudy, baby. I love Trudy on the telephone.
Well, hey, man, I'm really looking forward to it. And shout out to our mutual buddy over there, the old Banker Guitars.
Yeah.
Fucking I love him, man. And I'm looking forward to, it'll be fun to do comedy and live a little bit of the old rock and roll dream, each night.
Oh yeah.
Get up there and sing something.
We'll put you to work, man. It's gonna be good.
Oh, I'm fucking ready, dude. You don't even know. I'm fired. I got goosebumps right now. I'm fired up, man.
Yeah, man. Me too, bro. It's gonna be fun.
I love you, dude. And I love this record. This record is fantastic. It comes out here in a few weeks, everybody. There's some great videos on YouTube, 4 live videos of them playing the 4 of the songs that are out right now. And man, that lie, it's just killer to me, man. Oh,
thank you, dude.
Just a smoker. I'm telling you, man, the Rival Sons, Houndmouth, these bands, there's just these bands that I'm just completely in love with that, are newer bands from the last 15 years. And they're just some of the best music I've heard in years.
Man, that's high praise to be compared to all them boys. There's a lot of good music out there, and thankful to folks like you who search it out and find it and share it with others.
Oh yeah, I've been shouting you out for 5 years, man.
You're like that buddy that everybody has that tells them about good music, but you do it on a larger scale. So we're all thankful to you for that.
Oh, I love you, man. And you know that it was a great times we've had. And I will see you in a month, man.
I'll see you on the bus, bro. You be careful out there.
I can't wait, man. I'll see you, buddy.
All right, man.
All right.
Cheers.
Thank you. See ya.